Coming up on tonight's episode of Don't Panic, we have a lot of news to get through, including Fire TV Stick, payments shenanigans between NFC and currency. We also talk about Amazon bleeding cash, Facebook's new rooms, and a lot of cord-cutting news. It's a great episode of Don't Panic, and it's coming up next. This is Don't Panic, episode number 68, recorded October 27th, 2014, on HBO going, The Fire Stick and Payments BS. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Don't Panic, the technology podcast that is great for all you cord cutters out there, which means you can take the $50 you'd spend on cable and maybe send it our way. Didn't hurt to ask. I'm Sean Jennings, and I am joined by the Stanley Cup and Lombardi Trophy of Technology, our world champions, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau. Guys, what is going on?
Woo!
Woo! USA! USA! I was trying to think. I don't even know what the baseball trophy. Does it have a name, or is it just like the baseball trophy?
I don't know.
You know the one with all the little flags on it?
It's like the World Series trophy.
Is that really the best they could come up with? It's not named. Is it named after like Mr. World, Todd World Series, the founder of the World Series?
Could be. I have an echo, like I can hear myself back.
Is that better?
Yes, that's much better.
All right. That was for the music, and I forgot to turn it off because we're trying new editing this week. And if it doesn't work, I'll just go back and fix it, because we can do that. Well, guys, I hope you're excited for as much news as I am this week.
Yeah, we didn't even get to all of it last week.
No, we've got some runover. So, any particular place you guys want to start on the list?
Yeah, let's start with HBO, since that happened almost 2 weeks ago now.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a new article.
No,
as we just hadn't gotten.
No, I was so excited for it last week. I'm like, we can't get away with. Between that and CBS, I said we've got to talk about these. So we had two big pieces of news for those of you who are looking to cut that cable. HBO CEO confirmed at a Time Warner event last week that HBO is planning to launch a, quote, standalone, over-the-top HBO Go subscription at some point in 2015. It will be offered in the United States with no plans to bring it overseas. That's pretty much all we know about it, to be completely honest. People seem really excited. We don't yet know the exact date of launch, what will be included, what the price will be, or any of that, other than the fact that HBO Go will be available without a cable subscription. Are you guys excited for HBO to go over? I wish there was more to it. It's really such a kind of, it got people so excited, but it's really a non-announcement announcement.
Yeah, I'm not optimistic that. Here's my cynical TV take on this, is that the HBO subscription will just be a standalone version of what HBO already offers on Amazon Prime. Maybe with some extra stuff, but probably not the stuff you really want.
Oh, so you think it's going to be all like archived content and...
Yep. They didn't say, because HBO, I've never had HBO, so I don't know, but HBO must show reruns, right?
Of current shows, yeah. It's not. I don't think they air like The Sopranos or any shows of old that I know of. I don't have HBO, but when I did have it for a little while, I don't really recall. It's mostly movies. It still really is mostly movies.
Yeah. I'm gonna not be such a negative and say that
it sounded like you got censored there for a second.
No, self-censoring, perhaps. Yeah. No, I'm gonna hold out hope that this will be like their HBO subscription will be HBO Go in its current form, and I'll be able to watch Game of Thrones because that's all I want. And once I get this, would be perfectly timed with my cable subscription renewing and going up from the first year price, like promo price, and then I could just drop the TV and get my my HBO over the
drop
internet.
Your TV just physically?
Well, drop the cable connection to my TV.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are three main things people have. I'm happy to be negative Nancy. Any day of the week, I will be negative Nancy. Colby Shake said, there's three kind of main concerns people have brought up. The first is, Dan, what you said, where it's you don't get all of HBO. It's limited, whether it's just archived, whether there's a week or a month or a year delay in new content, what have you. It's not the full experience. The second is the price. We don't know the price, and I'm curious to see what you guys, A, think the price will be, and then B, what you would be willing to pay for HBO Go over the top.
I'm inclined to think it's going to be more than Netflix, which in a way is kind of silly because it's certainly less content than you get on Netflix. But I think I would be willing to pay up to $15 a month.
So if it's full, as you said, over the top HBO subscription with all the shows, like 10 minutes after they come out, just like HBO Go is now, if you're a subscriber, I would pay upwards of $50 a month for that, but I would not pay for it all year. I would not pay for it all year.
Yeah. So you would pick and choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If HBO could offer me, if there was a show I wanted to watch as much as Game of Thrones on every week, all year long, I would pay $50 a month for that.
Wow.
I would pay a premium.
Dan, can you get Game of Thrones on Amazon Instant or anything? Like, can you purchase it on iTunes or
Yeah.
There's usually a whole year or two delay, though.
Oh,
sometimes
really?
2 years. Yeah,
it's massive.
Why?
Same with the Blu-ray and all that.
I don't understand.
Yeah, so the Blu-ray of Season 4 doesn't come out until February 17th, 2015.
Oh my god.
The streaming probably won't come out until a year after that. I don't even know if you can stream Season 3 yet.
So that's not like that for network TV, right? You can just
Yeah.
Yep, so you can stream Season 3 for $4 per episode or $39 for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would pay $50 to $60 to get that immediately.
I see.
Yeah, and you're right, Colby. The pay networks are traditionally way more exclusive about that. Even cable, you'll have, at least for purchase, episodes up within a day or a week.
Right.
That is really kind of a pay TV thing.
Yeah, I see. Okay, that's a bummer. I would also pay for that. Thinking about it that way, I would probably really all I want HBO Go for is Game of Thrones.
Wow.
And I've watched some other stuff, but it really, I don't know. I've not found it to have that much to offer me besides Game of Thrones.
Now that's incredible. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Yeah. But it's amazing to me that people would pay that much or be that dedicated for one single show. That is really fascinating to me.
I mean,
it's good. It's pretty good, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there are other shows in the past that if they were still on, I would do that for. But none of them are still on.
Well, and I think HBO is probably one of the only networks that could probably get away with this, because I do think it's not just, you talk about shows like Veep and Silicon Valley, which I think are both excellent. You talk about, help me, name me other HBO shows quick.
That's all.
Anything else on HBO? Come on, anything.
Those were the only ones I would have known, and I wouldn't have been able to come up with them off the top of my head, even if you had asked.
True Blood just ended, but that was kind of terrible.
Oh, True Detective?
True Detective.
Oh, yeah,
Season 2 is going to be coming out.
Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire, that just finished.
The whole thing?
Yeah, the series finale just aired.
Oh.
So I think HBO is one of the few networks with such a catalog. That plus the movies, which I think is something people undervalue, is that HBO isn't like Netflix, and that Netflix doesn't get, even a year or two after they've been on DVD, Netflix doesn't have a lot of movies. They're getting better, but HBO has movies before they're on DVD. And I think that's a huge advantage that I think people think it's just about the TV and the Game of Thrones, but I think the movies are a big aspect too. I mean, I would pay. I think that 15. I think 20 would be kind of an aggressive price. I think I'd pay 15. I'm expecting them to do it at $19.99. Is going to be my set prediction. I think they will.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to make a shit ton of money doing it. And people are going to subscribe at 20. I really think they will.
Yeah, I mean, people do love streaming stuff.
Well, and people love HBO. That's what this is about. People friggin' love HBO. People love HBO so much, they will get 60 channels they don't want just to get HBO. You know?
Yeah, that's probably true.
And that's why I think they can get that premium over Netflix or Hulu or any of these other services, is because it's got brand affinity, it's got feeling, and it's got content.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm going to keep my hopes high because I do like it.
Yeah, we can only hope. We'll keep an eye on it, keep you informed, the viewer, as it gets closer. But we'll go from trendy hip HBO to the plays in the back room of retirement homes channel CBS, who launched their own internet television service. It's called CBS All Access, and it's available for the bargain basement price of $5.99 a month.
Wow.
What does that mean for you? Well, you get a stream of your local CBS station, so similar to Aereo, where you're just going to get a kind of repeat of your local station, without any of the good DVR functionality or anything like that. And it will block some content, including NFL games, which defeats the whole purpose. You'll also get next day access to 15 new series and all past seasons of 8 current shows, including Survivor. And you'll get over 5,000 episodes of classic shows, including Star Trek and Twin Peaks, among others, which will be presented ad-free. It is through CBS's website and iOS and Android apps.
Wait, are all of these things ad-free or only some of them?
So the next day, new current airing seasons will have ads. It is only classic, quote-unquote, shows that will not have ads.
Deal breaker.
Yeah, but
Not that I was going to buy it, but like...
Well, I think the NFL is kind of baloney.
I mean, I feel like there's the reason for that is not that CBS doesn't want to stream the games. It's that the NFL is like, oh, fuck no.
No, I agree. It's just, I think that's one of the big reasons people are like, I will pay you CBS so I don't have to have cable but can still watch the NFL. And this kind of blows around that. But I do think it is interesting. And I think $5.99 is a very compelling price.
Yeah. Yeah. It does seem pretty accessible. Yeah, I mean, I guess, again, if you don't want to pay for TV and you don't you like watching NCIS like the rest of the world, or at least some people, apparently. I can't believe that show is still on.
It's got to be like Dentist Waiting
Just blows
Rooms or
my
something.
mind.
I don't know.
I remember in high school watching that show for years with my parents, and it's still on. I went to college and graduated and have worked for 2 years now. It's still going.
Yep.
It's still not the longest continuously running TV show, right?
Oh, well,
wasn't that ER? Does
No.
ER still hold that?
No, Dan. Trivia: the longest-running scripted live-action television show is Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke?
Gunsmoke ran for 20 or 20-plus seasons.
I've never even heard of that.
The longest-running non-scripted is 60 Minutes, and the longest-running animated is The Simpsons.
Wow.
The Simpsons is still on, right?
It is.
Sean, it's like you're
Crazy.
preparing to make a game show podcast or something.
No, I just have too much free time is really the problem.
Slight tangent. Speaking of animated shows, I started watching Bob's Burgers on Netflix yesterday.
Oh, really?
Pretty satisfying. I like it.
Oh, that's excellent. I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. I enjoyed the one where he got stuck in the wall, and also the one where they had dinner theater and the actual robber came in.
Yes, that show is so... Keep getting through it, because it just stays as funny.
I would not have thought that show was good at all, but now I guess I'll have to
It,
watch it.
it's
No.
it's not good in like the way Family Guy is good. It's
I
a different sort of humor, I think.
Is Family Guy good though?
Ooh.
I think Family Guy is good. I enjoy Family Guy. I mean, I recognize that it's not like it's kind of lowbrow, but
Family Guy was good, I think, is
it's.
his
I'll
statement.
accept
I'll
that.
also say I haven't watched Family Guy in years. Like I haven't watched since I don't know,
It's-
mid college maybe.
It's very much The Simpsons. It's just going through the motions at this point and pumping out money for Fox.
Right.
So, yeah, Bob's Burgers is great. And when you're done with Bob's Burgers, I don't know if you've checked out BoJack Horseman on Netflix.
That's the
I
other one
watched.
I saw and thought couldn't possibly be good.
Oh,
I watched like 2 episodes with my roommates when I was still in San Francisco, and it was kind of weird.
it is. It's very weird, and it's very edgy, and it's not... It's funny, but it's, like, very serious. It's. I really enjoyed it. That's all I'll say.
All right,
I would recommend it. Man, good tangent, Colby. Thank you.
we have TV episode. I have a TV pick too. Doesn't someone else have a TV?
I do.
Pick?
I have a Netflix pick.
Oh.
And we talk about HBO and CBS.
People call yourselves cord cutters.
I know. Well, that's the problem with cord cutting. Now that everyone has their own service, we're going to be nickel and dime to death.
That's fine, because I don't watch that much.
Well,
But you watch all these things on Netflix, right? All the things we just talked about.
Yes.
well, I mean, I watch Bob's Burgers when it airs on Fox because I have a DVR and I tape it and I fast forward through the commercials.
Ha! Tape it.
I know. Well, no, I'm an impatient person. You have to wait an entire year for Bob's Burgers to get on Netflix.
Yeah, but you still haven't even watched Game of Thrones, so you've got some time to fill.
Yeah, but then I got to pay for HBO. But I already paid for satellite. There's just no
Damn
winning.
it.
Read a book. That's my advice. Books won't nickel. Actually, Amazon might nickel and dime you, but that's for another day. Let's move on. Where would you guys like to go next? Any?
Ooh. I don't know.
I
was so excited about the HBO thing, I didn't
All
even
right.
look further.
Well-
I am excited. We can keep the TV rolling here and go to the Fire TV Stick thing.
Yes, absolutely. Amazon.
'Cause I was actually excited about that today.
In one of my least favorite product names of the year, the Fire TV Stick, which is actually the technical name of the product, was announced today by Amazon. It is a small dongle that plugs into your HDMI port. If you've ever seen a Chromecast, you get the idea. Very similar. Same with the Roku streaming stick. It has essentially all the same experiences as the full Fire TV. But it only costs you $39, and if you're a Prime subscriber, they're giving you a special discount for $19. You can get a Fire TV Stick. I know, irresponsible. It's got all the apps, your Hulus and Pandoras and Netflix and Amazon Instant Video. What's interesting about the TV Stick specifically is that it has 8 gigabytes of internal storage and a gigabyte of RAM, which is double the amount of RAM of the Chromecast and 4 times the RAM of the Roku stick. So you can expect performance to be really great. It's also the only one with dual band Wi-Fi as well. So you're going to get a lot of power out of this. It does come with a hardware remote, which Chromecast doesn't, but it doesn't include the same remote that you get with Fire TV that allows you to talk into it. You can get that remote for an extra $30. You can also get the scrap what I was going to say. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. The Fire TV Stick now available from Amazon.
So yeah, I was excited about this because it's exactly like the Chromecast, about the same price, but better in like every way.
How so?
You can control it from your smartphone, but you also have a remote that you can control it with. And controlling it from your smartphone is convenient sometimes, but it's not convenient other times. It's much better to have both options. And with the app, you can do voice search, just like you can on the Fire TV, which was one of the best features I heard of the Fire TV. Maybe Sean can confirm that. The Chromecast is super janky, switching between episodes. It only just recently got the ability to auto play the next episode, And everything else does, like Apple TV, PlayStation, Roku, they all do it seamlessly. They're already buffering the next one. They just kick you right in. The Fire Stick does that as well. Seems like a huge win. I don't see why anyone would get a Chromecast at this point. I mean, I guess if you're all into casting tabs from your laptop onto the screen, but I don't think anyone's actually doing that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, the the only reason I liked the Chromecast was literally because of the price. Because it was so affordably priced. If you were not willing to spend anything, at least it worked. At least you could do stuff on it. I never thought it worked particularly well. I think this is honestly a no-brainer. Now, my argument, I've always been a big Roku guy. I've owned several. I love them. I think it works quite well. The problem is Roku is always underpowered. They're always so poorly underpowered. And the short amount of time, if you remember, I reviewed Fire TV on the show, the speed was crazy. And it sounds like they've put a similar experience into a stick for $20 you plug into your TV. And again, Dan, I think you nailed it. The smartphone as a remote, especially on Chromecast, has never worked well, at least for me. It ends up just being an enormous hassle. So I love having the physical remote of the Roku. But I think if I were out shopping today, I think this Fire TV stick is really compelling.
Yep.
Cool. I mean,
go ahead.
I was going to say, well, like, it's interesting because, I don't know, I've been unsatisfied with any of my media consuming devices. Like, the PlayStation doesn't have all the apps, all the things I want. My TV has most of the things, but it also sucks. I know I said it was pretty good before, and that was just because I was pleased that it had more things than the PlayStation. But it's mostly just okay. Like, it's fine. It functions. It'll do for now. But I really would like something better. Like, I don't ever want to have to press the source button on the TV again. It's really annoying. It's the worst.
I'm not that worried about the source button. Although I will say, if you are worried about the source button, you should get that universal remote I recommended. It remains amazing.
I happen to have the remote. I ordered it.
Sean just appeared out of thin air. He magicked it.
More crap I've bought. No, it's because I've got Monday Night Football playing, so if I get bored with you guys, I can just look over the monitor. No, I actually went ahead and did the Harmony remote. I didn't do the same one Dan did. I did a different model, and I love it. So Dan at least steered me in the right way of the company. But yeah, I agree. I think a good universal remote can really fix a kind of source problem.
Yeah.
Nice.
You should look into it, Colby.
I might. See, the thing is, I don't have, like, I only have one thing that uses a remote, though, and that's the TV.
Well, but now you'll have your...
Doesn't the Logitech Harmony do Bluetooth as well?
Yeah, I use it with my Roku. It works great.
Yeah, so it can turn PlayStations on and off, use Rokus. Yeah.
All right. I'll consider it.
Okay.
We almost have them converted.
All right, what else do we got here?
Well, I have actually two stories I personally want to talk about.
Okay,
So,
you are free to do that.
I am free to roam about the cabin. One of them, really, I am going to go full on rant mode.
Whew.
And it's about mobile payments.
Aha.
Dan knows what I'm talking about. So we saw this.
I'll preface this by saying this is brilliant PR by Apple. Like, I'm sure as soon as CVS and Walgreens or whatever were like, oh, we're not going to support Apple Pay, Apple PR was like, oh, hey, check out this like white paper on how their solution works. Look how terrible it is. Anyways, keep going.
It wouldn't surprise me. So last week we saw the launch of Apple Pay, which was Apple's payment solution. You put your credit cards into your iPhone, NFC, boop, you pay. You're good to go. People seem to really like the experience, available at a select number of retailers. But interestingly enough, since Apple Pay is on the NFC kind of general standard. You can use that at stores that have had NFC for years that aren't necessarily Apple Pay partners. Well, a couple of them, including Best Buy and Rite Aid and CVS, among others, decided to turn off their NFC readers at their stores, not just for Apple Pay, mind you, but for any NFC payments, whether it's Google Wallet or SoftCard or any of these other NFC payment services. So people started asking questions. Why would they turn off a service that people seem to like and use? Well, it's because a bunch of these retailers got together and decided to do something I would call on the verge of monopolistic. And that would be force their own payment solution down consumers' throats. It's called Current-C. I'll let that sink in. It is a payment service spearheaded by the MXC, or the Merchant... MCX? Merchant Customer Exchange? Something like that. It's a group of retailers headed by Walmart. You would know a lot of other major ones in there. 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts. It's a massive list of very big retailers who decided they didn't want to pay credit card transaction fees, which are on average about 2% of your purchase if you use a credit card. So they decided, rather than use Apple Pay, which uses your credit card, or Google Wallet, which uses your credit card, they would launch their own solution that used your bank account, which they don't have to pay a fee on if you give them your bank account information. The same goes for prepaid debit cards or bank-issued debit cards, because it goes straight through the bank and not through a Visa or MasterCard. Well, because Current-C is backed by such large groups, to be part of the MXC, you have to sign an exclusivity agreement with them that you wouldn't use any other payment service, including NFC. Despite the fact that Current-C hasn't launched yet and won't until at minimum mid-next year.
That's awesome.
The other problem with Current-C is the way it works, right? The beauty of Apple Pay and NFC is you just, your finger on the button and you just tap. You just tap. It's so
Have you
easy.
used it yet, Sean?
No, because I have all off-brand credit cards that don't work with Apple Pay.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm not a real adult. That's my next step, is to get a real credit card like an adult. But Current-C uses our favorite piece of cutting-edge cellular telephone technology, the QR code. To process payments, that's right. You will go up to your register at the Walmart, which is, I'm sure, busy, loud, and staffed with quality employees. And you will take your phone and you will attempt to use the camera to scan a QR code generated at the register. Or,
you scan the QR code?
yes. In some cases that will happen. In others, they will scan your phone. If it doesn't work, you will have to manually enter a number generated on your phone into the keypad at the register to pay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
isn't
excited.
that great? But it gets...
So that's basically how I think I mentioned this before. It's called Level Up, which a bunch of places. So Level Up, like it generates, like every time you want to pay, it generates a QR code on your phone screen, and like when you go to a place, they have like some sort of Level Up reader, and you just scan your QR code. But yeah, slight aside.
Nope. Thank you. But it gets better. Because it is all digital and it's an integrated system because you use the Current-C app. It loads your receipts into the app, which means you can use your loyalty cards and get coupons, which is fine. But it also means that Walmart and the MXC and these other giant companies have a record of every single thing you've ever bought. And they log them and track them, including one particularly disturbing area, health information. For example, they will know every time you bought Tylenol or your glucose medicine, and they will literally log it and store it for you. Now, with companies like Target and Home Depot being hacked, it's one thing for them to steal my Visa card, but to steal my bank account and health information from a company I trust as much as Walmart.
Now, so the thing, like Apple Pay is almost the opposite, right? They like don't know it's completely anonymized, so they don't have any information.
Exactly. It's between you and your bank, as it should be. And one more thing, even better. This is the greatest thing ever. In the terms of service of Current-C, on the flip side, Under the law, your credit card company has to protect you from fraud. For example, Colby, if someone stole your Visa or MasterCard and bought a trip to Tahiti, you're not liable.
Mm-hmm.
That's how credit cards work. In the express terms of service of Currency, these companies are not liable if someone steals your account information from them, whether they take your phone from you or they hack into the store. But they don't have access to your Visa card, no. They have access to your bank account. And these companies aren't liable.
I like it. I like it.
Fucking believable. This is just like one thing after another. I'm like, this can't get any stupider. And then they go on, and it just gets back to this point that Apple in their announcement of Apple Pay said, nobody is doing this right because no one's thought about the consumers. What is easiest for the consumers? And normally that kind of sounds like Apple just announcement BS, right? It's magical and revolutionary. But you look at Currency, and it is the perfect system for retailers. They don't pay credit card fees. They're not liable if your information gets stolen. They track everything you've ever bought. And they don't have to put in NFC readers at their registers, which have an additional fee. It's literally the worst thing for customers and the best thing for retailers. Like, you think Comcast is a shitty company. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's not even if this existed, I wouldn't have a problem with it if it weren't exclusive, right? So if I want to pay at a Dunkin' Donuts, I'll still be able to use cash or my credit card. But if I want any kind of interesting digital payment, it has to exclusively be Currency. And that is my rant about how stupid this thing is. I can't tell you. It really bugs me.
So I will take solace in the fact that, like, it's probably going to be a crappy experience. And I think consequently no one is going to use it.
I hope not.
I can guarantee you no one will use it, but I'm not sure that it will matter in the short term. You know, like, if no one uses it in the first 6 months, how long will it take them to back out of those contracts and lawyer up and go through all that crap and then get the new ones installed and configured, and it'd be years.
And that's like for the first 6 months after it finally launches in a year and a half.
Right.
If it finally launches
that's a good point.
year and a half.
And I will mention, background on Currency, it was launched in 2011. The like company and project itself. It's been ongoing for years.
Yeah.
Partner companies include Gap, Old Navy, 7-Eleven, Kohl's, Lowe's, Sears, Kmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, Stop & Shop, Wendy's, nearly all major U.S. gas station chains, among others.
I do like Wendy's and the Gap, so that's a bummer.
All I can imagine is Colby sitting at like a booth in Wendy's with like a Gap bag next to him, like, just with his Frosty. Today was a good day.
And that
living that
when
American
I picture that, he's
dream.
definitely at a rest stop because he had to go a ways to get to the Gap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that vision. I do. I don't know how this can end well. But we'll have to wait and see. I really hope it blows up in their face. I really do. And the other thing I will say is it's believed, one of the things that it's believed they will do to get customers to use the service is offer really strong discounts, like 5% off everything if you pay with Currency, which they'll make back between the data collection and the credit card processing fees. And I'd be interested to see if these businesses do it and if that makes a difference. But we're still a ways off from that.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Now, the other story I really wanted to talk about was Inbox.
Which I got thanks to Colby.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to send an invite.
But it's useless to me because I don't use my personal Gmail, only my work Gmail. It doesn't work with apps accounts. What the hell is going on inside of Google that nothing works with apps accounts?
I don't know.
Like, one would think, isn't their own email apps accounts?
Yeah.
Because it's at google.com. Wouldn't that be... I can guarantee you it's not, otherwise everything would work. But
right.
it would make so much sense if it was. And then all of this stuff would work on apps and personal Gmail, and everything would be beautiful. There's
don't
some
understand
really
what's the
nasty,
problem?
gnarly legacy code that's a hacked together thing that allows apps to exist, and I guarantee you. So like, put together in like 3 months. Let like, oh, Gmail will just be this special snowflake, and then apps will do it right here, and or I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
it's the worst. Anyways, inbox for Gmail.
So Dan, you haven't used it.
I opened it up and swiped some of my many 13,000 unread emails away, and then I got bored with that pretty quickly. I like the concept. Like, if I had actual emails in my personal Gmail that I cared about, wanted to read and take actions on, then I could see it being very useful.
Well, before I get your thoughts and my thoughts, let's just quickly. Google announced a new app called Inbox that works with its Gmail service to have a new spin on how you do your email. We've talked about on the show, it seems like a million times, about how we deal with email and how to best deal with email and good email apps. What this specifically does is it tries to turn your inbox less about mail and more into a to-do list or an actionable type of scenario. So it begins with them looking at all your messages and bundling them into things like travel or updates or those kinds of things. There's a reminders list right at the top of the app where you can pin emails to and add reminders yourself. One swipe to get rid of mail, whether you snooze it or archive it. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's kind of most of it. It's it's shiny.
Yeah, that's most of it, but it works really well.
I wanted to love it. I really did. And there's one major flaw with this product.
Go on.
You can't delete your mail. Or I should be more clear. You can delete your mail, but you have to do it from a submenu. You can't swipe to delete.
Sean, why are you deleting your mail?
Because I don't want it anymore. Dan?
Sean, we
don't
live in the
delete.
future. You don't have to delete anything.
Yeah.
No, I don't want, like, Bed Bath & Beyond emails, and I don't want Williams-Sonoma emails.
Archive them.
Set up a filter and
No, but why can't they just do a swipe to let me delete the mail? It's not hard. Mailbox does it. I've used Mailbox, and it's great. I can do the swiping, but I can also delete my mail.
I bet Mailbox didn't have delete in V1 either.
Come on. I feel like that's an obvious need. Like, we built a great email service, but you can't delete your messages.
Google doesn't want you to delete your messages.
But there's some messages I'll just never need. You should see, Dan, I'm going to
archive them. I know, Sean.
You know what? I have a new idea. I'm going to set up a filter to take all the mail I normally delete, and I'm going to forward it to Dan Miller's email address. The best way to get rid of my mail. I'm just going to send it all to Dan.
Sean, you know you can, like, unsubscribe from those email lists, right? And then they stop sending it to you.
That's it, Colby. Then more, I'm using it for the show. This is an iced coffee maker that I got my mother for her birthday at Williams-Sonoma. Now I get Williams-Sonoma emails. And I'll unsubscribe.
You gotta use that unsubscribe me app or whatever.
You know, I tried, and it was really, it screwed up my mail. Like, what was it? Unroll Me was, at least it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it ended up deleting and getting rid of mail I didn't want it to, and it wasn't very good to use. I had to stop using it. It was a good idea. Maybe this is just me complaining. It's a beautiful app. I think it looks great, but it's just not... It's like we've talked about. We each handle mail differently. It's not really applicable to how I handle email.
Well, that's fair enough.
I know.
Indeed.
But I really just wanted to complain about how they make it hard to delete email. Like, I don't... That's really silly, Google. Ugh.
Sean's mad.
All right, yeah, I'm always mad. Let's do more news. What would you like to talk about? We can talk about Fitbits, Amazon going broke, or Facebook Rooms.
It's Colby's turn to pick.
Have either of you used Facebook Rooms? Because I haven't, because I don't have an iPhone.
No, I haven't.
I used it for about 30 seconds and found it utterly... It was very much a slingshot experience where I used it for about 30 seconds, found it useless, and then turned it off.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand.
It's just, and I can show you what it looks like. It's just kind of like micro chat rooms in a way around a given topic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly just people, if you go into like those with decent sizes around common topics, it's kind of garbage. And it's just people posting stuff. So so here, The Verge posted their share link. So this is, someone posted a question, iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus, and then people commented on it with their comments. It's just random people commenting on things I don't care about.
Yeah.
No, but if there was like a Marist College one, which I think there is.
Right. I could see, I have Facebook Messenger group chats with people that I could see this being more relevant because you post images and comment, and that might be relevant. But I think it's going to take a while to work its way down to kind of those super localized groups.
So do you are these things like open to anyone? Is that the point?
Well, the way it works, I think you can, that's actually a really good question. But the way it works is, let me show you. Hang on, I got to go back. The way it works is, again, it's based around QR codes. So you actually get a QR code.
Oh, boy.
I know. And to be fair, I actually think it's a neat way to do it. It's kind of, complicated. But what you do is you take a screenshot of the code. So if someone emails it to you or posts it to your messages, you take a screenshot. And then Rooms constantly scans your camera roll. And as soon as it detects a new QR code, it automatically adds that room. So an interesting implementation, but now I have a bunch of QR codes in my camera roll, which is kind of annoying. So
that is annoying.
Yeah,
you didn't want those there. They're backed up to iCloud Drive now.
They're everywhere.
So you have them forever.
Damn it. Yeah, I see the uses for it. It's just kind of crappy today. It's like I said, it's just it's a micro chat room. That's all.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
All right. Not excited.
No. Let's do, what time is it? We have time to quickly talk through, I don't know, pick one. Fitbit's, Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Amazon? Wait.
Amazon,
I'm not committing yet. I'm not committing.
They lost a bunch of money.
Amazon is bleeding money like it's nobody's business, mainly on failures like the Fire Phone. Never mind the fact it bought Twitch for $1 billion.
Yeah.
And
when you say it like that, they didn't lose that much money, I guess.
No, but, they literally have a warehouse somewhere filled with Fire Phones that are collecting dust. So that didn't help either. And they're aggressively spending.
Yeah, that's not that interesting. Let's talk about Fitbit.
All right, let's
talk
about Fitbit indeed. So, I think we teased it last week and ran out of time. These have been leaking like a broken pipe. It's been crazy.
I was going to say, I've seen these already, I thought.
Yeah, like for the last 3 weeks, they have leaked everywhere. Well, they're finally announced. Fitbit announced a new line of products, 3 new products, in fact. We will start with the lesser of the 3, the Fitbit Charge, a $129 device that's really just an update of if you ever use the Fitbit Force. Similar to that.
I use the Fitbit Force.
Yeah, similar. They claim it's a better design, easier to wear all day long. It is just basic health stuff, steps, distance traveled, floor climbed, and a sleeping habit. Why is my phone... Did you hear my little sports center?
I didn't, actually.
Oh, because the Redskins are leading the Cowboys, and Tony Romo got injured in the 3rd.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's got some kind of neck-back injury, which is really promising for a quarterback. Not that you need that.
That's not coming out until 2015, right?
The Tony Romo? It's been long overdue. No.
No, I meant the...
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
When I scroll to the end of the article, Dan, I will tell you, because it doesn't say where I'm reading.
Well...
All right, I'll do it now. The Charge is available now. The others will be available early 2015. So you can buy this now. The Charge also will show you caller ID on the phone if you get a phone call. Now, if you want to upgrade, you can go to the Charge HR. Doesn't stand for human resources. It stands for heart rate. And it's essentially the same as the Charge, but it uses a sensor to track your heart rate as you're using the device. You're going to pay $149 for this, so a $20 upgrade, which I don't know why you wouldn't just put in the extra $20 and get the heart tracking.
Because then you don't get it until 2015.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it does drain the power faster. So by about 2 days, they claim. And then if you're really going for gusto, and you're really going for it, you're going to get the Surge. And the Surge is the Charge HR, but it includes a GPS tracker, which is great if you're a runner and don't want to take your phone with you. It will track your GPS as you run, and you can sync later. It also has a touchscreen display, music controls, and you can see, call, and text notifications with customizable watch faces. Sound familiar? Kind of like the Pebble Steel I reviewed last week. It also has the heart rate tracking as well and all the other features I described. They claim it lasts 7 full days on a single battery. And there you go. So as I said, the Charge is available at $129 now, and you'll have to wait for the Charge HR at $149 and the Surge at $250 for early 2015. Now, are you guys still... You guys had fitness trackers at some point. Are you still using them?
No.
I don't.
No, mine fell apart.
I've been considering doing the my Flex again. Oh no.
Aww.
Yeah.
Sad times.
So do any of these particularly speak to you?
No, I would never buy one that wasn't the Flex because
look how
it has the
awful that-
replaceable bands.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Bad news bears.
Yep.
Interesting. So you're all about the... yeah, I guess this one, if this one had a replaceable band, I'd be a little less bummed out.
Yeah, because I mean, if it hadn't had a replaceable band, it would have been Gonzo's like 6 months before I stopped using it.
Yeah. I don't know. So the problem with Fitbit now is it doesn't work with HealthKit. They have decided not to work with HealthKit. Jawbone does, and I still have a brand new Jawbone that they sent after my other one broke, waiting in the bucket over in the living room. So, but I noticed now they make Jawbones with Bluetooth. So I think the one I had, you had to plug it in through the headphone jack. It was pretty jank.
I remember that.
Or you just wait for the Apple Watch, which is... I don't know. One of us has to get it.
Yeah, but that's a big price hike. If you're just
true.
looking for fitness.
It's true.
It's
true.
That's expensive. I think that's the problem, right? Is you really got to figure out where does that line fall for you between fitness and the extra features. Because some people are going to say, just get me the Flex or something like that. I just care about steps and sleeping. And then there are going to be people who say, I want the Apple Watch. I want to do everything. And then there are going to be those people awkwardly in the middle who these kind of new devices are for, where it's like, I do really care about the fitness, but I don't need apps and all this. And I think Fitbit is smart in having a really good range of devices.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are. I think it's neat. I've started using my Pebble as a tracker, and I've got it syncing with about 4 different apps in HealthKit. It's all very complicated, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Because it's like it'll sync to one app, and then that app syncs to HealthKit, and then HealthKit syncs to another app. It's really complicated, but I'm working.
Sounds elaborate.
It sure is. So yeah, new Fitbits coming soon to a store near you. Are there still stores that sell things?
I think there's a Best Buy down the street from me.
The one Best Buy?
I went there once to buy a modem, and they didn't have any. They were all sold out. They were like, "We'll have more on Thursday." To be fair, that was like it was the weekend after Labor Day, which was the week that like school started, so all the college kids moved in.
And that's when they sell a ton of modems.
Right, because everyone moved in and everyone needed a modem. So I'm willing to give them a sort of pass, but they really fucked me.
That's
they didn't
funny.
know how
I feel like calling it a Best Buy is kind of misleading advertising.
It was a buy.
It was a
Wait,
good
Colby,
buy.
did you end up getting a phone?
Yeah, it's supposed to come on Thursday.
Thor's
I,
Day.
yes, yeah.
Day of
It
Thor.
the last I checked, it was in China. I'm gonna look again.
Yeah, we're really excited at work for Cyber Thor's Day, which is going to be just crazy.
Oh my god. Well, I think that concludes the news for today. God, there was a lot, including some carryover from last week, but I thought it went well. I was
Yeah,
satisfied.
definitely.
Nice.
So I think that means we have to move on to picks. Anyone want to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, all right. Slow down. Go for it.
So I have two picks. The first pick is Postmates.com, and Postmates is... Sean's laughing at me. I don't know why.
I just noticed your other pick. No, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that one before.
It's a tease. Yeah, I sent Colby that when I first saw that website. It's one of my favorites. But first, my first pick, Postmates.com, is sort of a better Seamless, and I've only used this once, so it's not a full review, but I'm really excited about the concept. So Seamless is, you go online, you order food, the food establishment receives it and sends one of their delivery people to your place to deliver the food, which works great. What Postmates is you order food through their website. They order the food on your behalf to the restaurant, and they send one of their own delivery people there to pick it up and bring it to you. So you can order food from places that don't even have delivery. But you can also order all sorts of other things. Beer, cocktails, Halloween costumes. It's super cool. So I'm really excited about Postmates.com.
That's amazing.
They're in a couple different markets, New York, San Francisco, the usuals. They also have, they do the alcohol thing by having their own Postmates store that does the delivery. Which I'm sure, I don't know why that is, but I thought that was neat. My other pick is, let me get the exact, oh no, too many tabs. What the hell? There we go. Pictures of people scanning QR codes.tumblr.com. It is a Tumblr with no posts.
That's really funny. It took me a minute to get it. It really did. But I appreciated it. That was
Good
very
stuff.
funny. Cool. All right. Postmates. And that's really... I don't have a lot of want or desire to live in a city. Things like Postmates is really what would get me to make the switch.
Yeah.
Because I'm lazy. All right, well, I think Colby and I are both doing Netflix picks.
Yep.
I'm gonna jump in and go first. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do two picks too. Because if Dan can do it, then I can do
fuck?
it. I know.
If you're all doing two picks, I gotta find another pick now.
All right. Well,
that's gonna save your pick for next week too. I had 3 picks, but
wow,
I'm holding off.
I just happen to have mine, so I guess I'll do both. They're gonna be quick. So, on Netflix, if you were a fan of really excellent documentaries, this is one of my favorite documentary series I have ever seen, ever. It's called 30 for 30. They were done by ESPN a few years ago, and now they've continued it. It originally began as just 30 films for the 30th anniversary of ESPN, the network, based around 30 interesting stories around sports. And they got like big name directors to come in and each do a movie, each on a story. And they're just some of the most well-done, interesting, even if you're not a huge sports person, just the stories, some you may have never heard and some you see in a whole new light. It's on Netflix. You can search 30 for 30. They were taken off Netflix for a while. They all just went back on. I spent like almost this entire weekend just marathoning 30 for 30 documentaries because they're so riveting. I'm going to give you 3 quick recommendations of where to start with 30 for 30 because there's a lot of them. There's like over 30. So Small Potatoes. What? There's a lot. Small Potatoes, Who Killed the USFL? Interesting. If you've never heard of the United States Football League, it was a football league that existed in the mid-'80s for like 4 years and was really interesting and really cool and played football in the spring until Donald Trump came in and essentially bankrupted them. Really interesting. I also just rewatched 9.79, which is the story of Ben Johnson, the track and field star who won the gold medal and broke the world record in the '88 Seoul Olympic Games, only to test positive for performance-enhancing drugs. This was before it was a big thing. And it's not only interesting for that, but they interview all the track stars of the time, including American legend and icon Carl Lewis, gazillion-time gold medal winner, who the whole time says, I'm the great guy, and I never use drugs, and look at me, I'm a hero, and he comes off looking like a real tool, and like he totally did drugs. Really great film. And the last I'm going to give you is Elway to Marino. This was a more recent one, where in the 1983 NFL draft, the first to be televised, they drafted 6 quarterbacks in the first round, starting with the great John Elway and ending with the great Dan Marino, and they take you literally through every single pick of the first round of that year's draft and tell you what happens with each team, with each player, how they traded the picks. Really well done documentary. I can't speak highly enough. 30 for 30 on Netflix. And I went long on my first pick, so I'll pass my second on to Colby.
Okay. I'm not going to do 2 picks because I don't have another thing to pick. But, so my pick on Friday, I was bored and I didn't have anything to do and I had a pizza. So I decided to sit down and watch some TV. And I noticed there was a new Netflix original series in my queue, or in the like recommended, Netflix series. And it's a Netflix. So yeah, so I said this already, but it's a new Netflix original. And it's called Peaky Blinders. And it's basically about like a gang in England in like, I guess it's post World War I England in, I don't remember what the city is called, but the gang is called the Peaky Blinders, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of short. Like the episodes are an hour, but I think the whole season is only 6 episodes. So that was kind of interesting. But as a result of it being only 6 episodes, I finished it on Friday night. So yeah, that's what I did on Friday.
Takes place in Birmingham, England, yes. where I have been.
Yeah. So, it was cool. It's like
Birmingham definitely looks like perhaps a place where gang activity once took place.
Yeah, it's like super industrial and like post-war, and it was kind of interesting because like all the gang members were like veterans, like they had all fought in France, and they came back and now they were in a gang and they like in some senses continued their war. But it was just kind of cool. I enjoyed it. It was like short and sweet, but a good story. I'd recommend it if you got some time to kill.
Cool. Peaky Blinders on Netflix. I guess what we're saying is if you don't have Netflix, you're kind of missing out.
Yes.
Who doesn't have Netflix?
What are you doing?
I feel like it's like electricity, internet, sewage, and beer, and then you're covered.
Oh, yeah.
I can't forget the beer. So that's it.
All right.
That concludes the show. You gentlemen have anything else you want to add?
So I have my iPhone is coming, but I also have something else coming this week that is pretty exciting. I'm excited about.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to mention what it is
until
next week. Till next week at the very earliest.
It's not one of these, is it?
An iPoop? No.
Yeah.
But I've got my fingers crossed he got the Nexus 9 just to be different.
It's not an Apple device.
Oh, interesting.
What a great tease. I couldn't even Man, you really nailed it. I was just going to plug Change Mode, which is back and had its first new episode. Now available online, wherever finer internets are sold. changemo.de. It was Concurrency Models, Chapter 1 and 2, and we're going to try and follow it up again this week.
I think so, yeah.
Good. Do your
It's
homework,
time to get
kids.
your functional programming on.
Oh, it's going to be great. Changemode.de is the website, at Changemode Show on Twitter, for information when the new episode gets posted. This is Don't Panic. Monday evenings, we do this show on our website, don'tpanic.io. There you get all the really excellent information, including past episodes, audio, video, and subscribe. Please, that's how you get the show right away when it gets posted on iTunes, Stitcher, RSS, YouTube. All the links are on our website. And please, social media at Don't Panic Show, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Don't Panic Show. We give you all the updates there. So join us there, and join us next week. We'll have even more Don't Panic. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I am Sean Jennings, wishing you all a fair good night. This show is brewed fresh weekly by the Coffee and Beer Podcast Network. Get all our shows at our website, coffeeandbeer.tv.